CrossFit Games Event 2 2025 breakdown. The workout is all crossed up for time. 20 wall walks, 10 dumbbell shoulder to overheads at 100 pounds males, 70 pounds for the women. Conversions, what's that? 45 kilos for the males and 32.5 for the ladies. 20 double under crossovers, 30 toes to bar, 20 double under crossovers, 10 dumbbell shoulder to overheads, 1 dumbbell. 20 double under crossovers, 30 toes to bar, 20 double under crossovers, 10 dumbbell shoulder to overheads. You can see the workout up the top if you can't already. It is a very gymnastics dense workout. It is a very shoulder intensive workout. The implications with that dumbbell being heavy and unilaterally loaded does come into effect. And I would definitely say for just the sheer circumference of that dumbbell as well, just awkward placement. I like that. Total volume, 20 wall walks, 60 toes to bar, 80 crossovers, and 30 dumbbells to overhead, or that global shoulder loading position. And then obviously with the jumping is just a highly technical skill to be able to get those crossovers to work the way you want them. Basically, I'm going to go through the movements and have more the muscle groups that's going to be used here, the physiological stances of those movements, and the times in which they are in the workout as well. So wall walks is the first movement of entry into the workout. It is 20 wall walks. The time domain, first of all, of which people will finish those wall walks on the faster end, you'd see 2 minutes. So 20 wall walks, 10 wall walks per minute would be for the outliers in that region. And I think it's probably safe to say you'll see more of that 230, 240 marker, or 220, 240 marker for 10. For 20. And then on the slower end, just over the 3 minute marker, so like something like 7.76 on the minute. Although it might come a little bit faster than that, being something like 9, 8, and 3. Muscle groups, anterior delts, your triceps, your scapular stabilizers, definitely your core and your anterior chain, so everything front loaded and just that pressing position and getting to position at the top. You're going to have an early shoulder pump. There is going to be moments when they come on the ground with their hands out the side like this, just to really rest, relax, and get some life back into the arms before then going back into under the shoulder position. But probably the main thing is just the respiratory demand on it. So from being inverted and very hard to get oxygen uptake, and then when you're not inverted, you're lying horizontal on your belly. So it does also compress and hard to breathe in that position too. So I think it's a great entry to the workout. It's something that is very carrot dangling like. It's not the hardest thing. If you place that at the end of the workout, oh my gosh, it'll be the biggest highlight of the workout, like blaring red flag of damn, that's going to be so hard. But you put it at the start of the workout, it's not that it's not going to be so hard, it's you're going to start fresh, right? They will get hard, but then the damage will be set in from here. So by that nature, the fatigue is obviously set in, and now it's going to accumulate through the midline triceps. And you're basically going to be trying to bring down your respiratory system or your breathing whilst trying to recover the lactate out of those muscles. It'll be interesting. I think that the majority of the athletes will do all of their dumbbells unbroken, push jerking those. The people who have, for me, the better suited athlete for that movement is not necessarily the strongest people, but it is going to be those with good shoulder and elbow positioning, definitely terminal extension of the elbow, so inversion almost. I think like someone that comes to mind on that movement will be a Danielle Brandon, a Justin Medeiros. We'll get to it, but I think Justin will do phenomenal in this workout as a whole. But somebody who can just stack their joints, their wrist, elbow, shoulder into a nice position with good scapular function, those push jerks for the dumbbell are going to be a breeze. They are heavy, but that's not going to be the limiting factor in this workout. And I think like somebody like, I won't even say that, no. So yeah, physiologically for this movement, the triceps, the shoulders, this is the general midline stability fatigue. If you get them wrong, lower back, opposite side, or QL area, a little bit of legs, quads, you're definitely going to feel your quads in this one more than you think, from the jumping and then just the loading of dip, drive, dip, catch positions. And the last 10, I think that is a beautiful touch. It's 30 in total. You would think that rather than do 5-5 each arm, it might go like 10, 10, 10, 10, so 40, which means to me that I think that they tested this really well. And those last 10, we can see people have an idea of how they're going to get those last 10, and there might be one or two people that drop the dumbbell twice on that one because they've gone such a fast pace that they can't actually hold on to it, and you might see an overtake at that moment. I think that's going to be a beautiful picture that we might not have, put enough effort or thought into. The double under crossover. So this is obviously the centerpiece of the table here. How well have these athletes skilled themselves up since the last time we've seen this? This is the second time around, and back then I think it was only like 25 reps anyway in total. So now we're asking for 4 lots of 20 from the whole field. Big improvement in the CrossFit space for skill development. So very high in coordination, timing, and just the ability to do that movement, and then you're trying to mitigate the risk of no reps, or not the risk, because every rep is a risk, but mitigate your no reps, because once you're in rhythm, sometimes you're in rhythm, and with a number that's only 20 in total, you might get to that before breaking, and then if you break at 15 per se because you tripped, you might not get that next rhythm. You might break again, you might trip on the next one. So I think when you're in rhythm, you just got to go, plan to go. Unless you know that these are just in your back pocket, it might be a safer bet to do a 12 and 8 or a 10 and 10 throughout. But yeah, that one, and the crossovers, when we see some of these athletes are going to get stuck here immediately. The wall walk entry into those crossovers is something else to consider. I can't wait to see the athlete that went just a little bit too fast on those wall walks and was 2 reps ahead of the person beside them, and that person beside them went at a slower nature, which meant that they had less lactate build up in the muscles, and they were able to get past them after that very first set of 20 double under crossovers. And that can very well happen where that person gets out 10-15 seconds ahead on that first wall walks, but then after that you lost that in the first set of double unders, which is not going to bode well for the workout progressing forward from that. So that's something I'm looking forward to. But definitely the damage from event 1, so the 4-mile run, 3K row, 2-mile run, and now you're asking them to kind of do those same movement patterns, or not movement patterns as such, but I put running and jumping in the same category. That's going to be a big ask, especially when that jump requires coordination. Again, if I said in an earlier video that if those calves and Achilles are damaged from, and the quads are going to play into this as well. There's going to be some people who are getting muscle spasms in those muscles, and the jump is going to be even harder, which then is going to make the coordination of crossing over more problematic as well. So yeah, I think just by nature of where the workouts are placed, we need to have real consideration of what has come before that as well. Toes to bar, it's not going to be the reason why any athlete wins or loses their spot in this workout. Most athletes, I think, will go the first set unbroken. Some athletes will go the second set unbroken as well. But there's no harm in doing 2 sets, 5 seconds rest in between, and no one rests for 5 seconds at this level. They might do a 3-second rest at most, but you can easily just mess that up on a crossover. So again, the toes to bar is not the reason why you want to lose this. The energy system demands in this workout. So the primary energy system is the glycolytic anaerobic mix. So it's going to be a lot of high output stuff, but then in your transition times, a moment to breathe, recover, and relax. But when you're working, we're going to call on high energy usage. The lactate load is going to be there. Heart rate is going to build immediately. This is a workout that we will get to 90% heart rate from the start, from the very first exercise, and that's going to maintain. and get higher. The time domain of the workout, I would say our top finishes are going to be in and around the 8-minute marker, and the middle of the pack about the 9 minute 30 marker, and then the bottom of the field, I think, I don't even know what the time caps are, might be about 11, 12 minutes, and that's just going to come down to, can they get the double under crossovers together? If they can't, do they have enough experience and composure just to resettle themselves, recompose themselves to being able to get the skill back and under all that fatigue, stress, and environments? Because you'll know, sometimes when something just doesn't go right, it just doesn't go right. And for such a skill that is needed, and with consideration of event 1, these are the things that we have to think about. So, yeah, I think the top finish is around the 8-minute marker. The wall walkers will get off at about 2 minutes. Broken dumbbell, 30-35 seconds for that, 235, 240. You're only double over the crossovers, and it's just a matter of how can they navigate those and get through them. It might be a nice smooth set. I'm thinking someone like framing Tia Toomey going through at 320 after the first double unders. Toes the bar unbroken, so 4-minute marker, 4-minute 15-ish. Dumbbells again, she's probably taking the lead at this point, looking down the line, slow her rest time up a little bit, but although we know her, she's only going to put her foot on the throttle. 450, double under crossovers again, 530, 540. Yeah, I think it's probably 8 minutes at polite. I think that 730 might be more of the number for our top finishes. 730 to kind of the 8-minute marker, top 5. The overall stimulus of the workout, I think, obviously skill, inverted capacity with shoulder endurance, the jumping, the repeatability or recoverability after event 1, because you could have this event on day 3. It's one of those types of events that can kind of slot in on any day and make sense. Coordination, motor control, midline, your grip, your rhythm, your grip for sure, obviously. The double under, the toes to bar, but this the 2 compressive forces of holding your body weight upside down, and there's the muscles that get used in here to support that, and then once again to establish a grip hold on your dumbbell, and then have all that pressure downloaded through the arm with that heavier dumbbell as well. A lot of people don't think about that in terms of the grip acquisition, just that kind of hanging on my weight or holding something, So, yeah, compressive forces as well. Transitions and strategies. Look, I'm just thinking about staying comfortable and relaxed as much as I can until I know that the double unders are in control. That is going to be my indication for putting the speed on or whatever. So my wall walks are just an entry into the workout. Like we said in workout 1, it's not where you win the workout, but you can definitely lose this workout from going too fast there. And I think I'm kind of leaving my push for that last set of toes to bar, double unders, and then the shoulder to overhead, because by then I'll know exactly where I'm at. And I'm trying to save on 30 seconds at that point rather than trying to make up 40 seconds at the start and then falling off by 30. So that's my whole mindset going into it. And that's kind of it, really, my mindset. A couple of key words or keys for success in this. It would just be the shoulders are the limiter, move smart early and push later in the workout like we just talked about. Keep the rope composed, breathe before I jump. If I trip, it's not the end of the world. I'm taking another breath of composure, just stepping over and finding my own rhythm, blinkers on. And then my best round is my last round, which is kind of those last 3 movements that we just talked about. So that's it. Again, I haven't really gone over the leaderboard, but just to throw a few names at it, I think that Justin Medeiros does very well in this workout, extremely well. I think Jay Crouch is somebody that can do this workout really well. I think that Jeff Adler, obviously. Ty Jenkins might be somebody to watch in this one. Just being that younger person with that kind of position, come up with all those mechanics. Jason Hopper, Dallin Pepper, Peter Ellis, Colton Murdens, why didn't I say him first? And Austin Hatfield, they obviously deserve to be there. But it's more so like looking at a different few names that might be in the mix around that 5 to 10 marker as well, I think is important. On the women's side, just a quick skim over. Tia Toomey, Danielle Brandon I like for this workout. And again, sorry ladies, I don't know everyone's abilities. Alexis Raptis I like for this workout. Hayley Adams I like for this workout. Fee. Lucy Campbell, Maddie Sturr, Grace Walton, Claudia Gluck, very much so for this workout. Claudia, where are you from? You're from France, yeah, that's right. I think she's going to do really well in this workout. Yeah, and there's just a couple of names at it. So that's Event 2, CrossFit Games 2025 breakdown, tips, tricks, navigations on the event, and just a couple of people, and who I'm familiar with their names of, to throw in the mix. So let's see how it happens.